A very warm welcome to my channel. As you know, for today we are going to do some debunking the myths of nature. Being an internist for 20 years and have been trained both in the eastern part of the world and the western part of the world, I have accumulated quite a bit of knowledge on foods which can be used as medicine. And today's debunking the myths of nature is my small attempt of talking about 5 such foods which definitely makes it to the top of my list. So if you're interested in getting your chances of blood sugar down, or if you had a red velvet cake the last night and you quickly want to get that sugar go down, please keep on watching. So I'm a board certified internist. So as part of my job or my training, I have to see people who have a problem with blood sugar. Blood sugar is important because without sugar we cannot function, but at the same time too much sugar is also not good. So we need a delicate balance between good and not so good sugar. So the first thing I need to explain to you, and this is very important, the next 60 seconds is very important because on those 60 seconds the rest of the discussion is dependent. So please listen to this carefully. Say you have a lock and you have a key. So you can open the lock and you can get inside the room. So what happens when we have a problem and someone puts a chewing gum on the top of the lock? So the key is unable to be opened, although it's the right key for the lock, we cannot open the lock. The same thing is when we have a particle like fat cells accumulated in cells like liver or your muscle tissue, and you have fat which is not supposed to be there, blocking it, insulin, which is the key. So what does the key do, or what is the key supposed to do? When the sugar goes up, the insulin is supposed to go and unlock that key and let all the extra sugar be accumulated in the form of glycogen, so they can be used later, and so that the sugar is not going around the rest of your body and causing blindness in your eyes, or causing nerve damage in your legs, or causing blockage in the heart, or causing stroke in the brain. So if this lock and key mechanism is intercepted, then there is a problem. There are a few foods which actually can help this whole mechanism. From a physician's perspective, we know that pancreas, which secretes insulin, which causes the blood sugar to go down. So as we eat, pancreas releases insulin, and then that insulin helps the sugar to go into the liver. But the liver is full of fat. The fat is there where fat does not need to be. So the number 1 food which I'm going to talk to you about is cinnamon. Yes guys, cinnamon. Cinnamon is a very powerful tool and it's so easy to include in your diet. How can you take cinnamon? So first of all, there are 2 types of cinnamon. Number 1 is the Ceylonese cinnamon, which is the high amount of beneficial properties, and then there is cassia cinnamon, which is usually used in our tea, coffee that we use. If you could get Ceylonese cinnamon, which you can probably get on Amazon these days, or any other health food store I'm sure has Ceylonese cinnamon, you can have that, or you can just have cassia cinnamon. Either way, some sort of cinnamon can help. Now, for the purpose of making this video too long, I do not want to talk about the clinical evidence behind this. However, to make it very clear, in the description box, I am going to list all of the studies that are going in for. So it's not that I'm making up a cinnamon story and giving you a story just to, have some fun. No, that's not going on here. What's going on is scientific evidence that has shown and how much is the amount of cinnamon needed to help the sugar. And these all will be listed down below, all of the studies. So what cinnamon does, it actually helps by releasing a type of compound which works as insulin. So it's basically a nature's take on this hormone. So what you can do is you can get the Ceylonus cinnamon, they are literally very big, and you can put the cinnamon in water overnight and you can drink the water the following morning. You can also add cinnamon to your tea, coffee. You need kind of 1 to 6 grams of cinnamon a day to make it happen. Usually I recommend people getting somewhere between 2 to 3 grams a day. Usually it's around 1.5 teaspoons or 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, which is not difficult for us to get. Number 2 is going to be a food which we may not think as that important, but it is. It's called Karela or the bitter juice. Now, bitter juice or Karela has been used, or bitter gourd, has been used in various parts of the world. It is a very powerful tool. It comes in a vegetable form, and I'm going to try to insert a picture. I use this almost every single day as part of my food. I was born and brought up in India, and where I learned eating of the Karela, and I saw my grandmother drinking Karela juice in the morning, and I asked her, I said, why do you drink that bitter stuff in the morning? And she says, when I take that, I don't have to take my medications. My doctor tells me that I don't have to take my medications if I'm drinking this. So I prefer drinking this bitter juice instead of the medicine. So that's where my thought of how food can be an alternative form of medicine came into the picture. I'm not saying to any of you that you're going to stop and replace any of these of your medications with food, but what I'm trying to achieve is to help people who can get a little bit of benefit from what is there in the nature. Nature has already provided us with quite a few things. So I personally feel that this is a food which can definitely help. Now the amount of A1C that is going down when you're drinking this bitter gourd juice every morning is a substantial amount. Reduction of hemoglobin A1C almost 0.3 to 0.4%, and again I'm going to outline below all the studies proving this. So you can also get it in the capsule form now, and I actually have seen quite a few preparations on Amazon. The next product that I will be talking about to you today is turmeric. So we use turmeric in various foods, right? In our curries we use turmeric. So why is turmeric that important? Because turmeric contains a compound called curcumin. And what does curcumin do? Curcumin stops inflammation in the body. Curcumin goes to the liver and gets all of those fat cells cleaned up. So basically what it is doing, it is promoting liver health. And why is it liver health important? Because remember that lock and key, liver is going to take all that extra sugar. Muscle is going to take that extra sugar. But if we have fat in the liver, then the key is not able to be opened. Insulin is going to increase and the body is going to have more insulin released, and then at a point it's going to say, oh, you know what, I cannot do this anymore, I'm just going to stop. So curcumin helps this process and cleanses the liver, and it also helps inflammation in the various areas of the body. And that's how it helps the blood sugar to go down. Number 4 product which I found it to be fascinating is called berberine. So berberine is a unique food. It is called the super antioxidant or berberine, and it's basically like a little wonder of the world. It's the new turmeric. It's called the new age turmeric. It balances cholesterol, it promotes metabolism, lowers blood pressure, boosts brain power. So this is basically a product which has multiple uses, including lowering HDL cholesterol, also helping metabolism of blood sugar and causing weight loss and gives more energy, boost your brain health, promote overall heart health, improves digestion and gastrointestinal microbial balance. It also strengthens resistance against common bacteria and viruses, and it protects and supports liver, pancreas and kidney function. And that is exactly where the berberine comes into effect. So berberine helps the beta cells of the pancreas to be protected, and that is how it helps in curbing the sugar. By helping the beta cells, insulin can easily come out and it's not so resistant. It is absolutely a super wonder food. The foundations of the berberine as the new age turmeric has been just unbelievable, and the research is amazing, and I'm going to list down below a few of the researches that I found were absolutely fascinating, and it could actually help a lot of those sugar numbers. So how can you take berberine? I mean, you know, of course, you have sources of berberine which you can get in the form of a supplement, because you probably won't be able to get berberine. It is kind of difficult to find berberine. So there has been 4,000 studies published in berberine's remarkable health boosting effects. And not only that, this is absolutely safe for you to use. And so many studies are coming out on berberine. It's unbelievable. It's almost 20 years of research has gone into creating the berberine. I will definitely give you a few of the links where you can get a supply of berberine and you can take them, and also the scientific references and the journals where I did my research on and I found the research. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention what berberine is, because for a lot of people, they may not know what berberine is. Berberine is a chemical that is found in certain areas of the world have berberine. It's found in the European plant or tree called the barberry, B-A-R-B-E-R-R-Y, golden seal, gold thread, Oregon grape, philodendron, and the tree turmeric. And berberine has been used starting from helping eye infections to heart failure, and of course diabetes and high cholesterol. So I definitely do not want to undermine the importance of my fifth superfood. Yes, the fifth superfood is apple cider vinegar. There has been numerous studies on apple cider vinegar. So what exactly is apple cider vinegar? Apple cider vinegar is when you have a sour vinegar. So basically you are taking apples and you are fermenting them, and you'll be able to see when you shake the vinegar bottle that they are called the mothers. In the vinegar you'll be seeing them floating. Those are actually causing the decrease in the sugar content in the blood, or helps the sugar to go down and helps in preventing the insulin getting resistant. So as apple cider vinegar is commonly used in many of our foods and we can use it, it has also been shown in various studies that if you are taking apple cider vinegar prior to 3 meals in a day, you can lose weight, and the weight loss is definitely substantial kind of weight loss if you take it on a longer period of time. And weight loss, that means you have a lot of fat in the areas of the body which are being mobilized, and as I said before, that lock and key again comes into play. So you're going there and you're unlocking that key by taking all the fat out, and that's how apple cider vinegar is helped. Now if you feel the apple cider vinegar is too strong for you, or if it's too acidic, you you can absolutely add a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of vinegar in warm water in the morning, and you can have that. Don't start by drinking 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Go slow, go steady. So start maybe once a day, and then try to see if you can make it twice a day, and then you can go to 3 or 4 times a day, depending on how you're feeling. Now, again, as I said, these superfoods in combination can really help all of us in getting some form of help in preventing this huge blood sugar journey ahead of us. I hope you like this video, and if you like this video, please do not forget to subscribe. I will be talking about more on food for thought, food for medicine, and similar topics. I am definitely going to appreciate if you like this video, and also please do not forget to write a comment. Your subscription really matters, so please don't wait any further and subscribe now. I have a few videos on hypertension and other kind of things, and I'm going to outline those below. And I hope you guys have a blessed week.